So in preparation for Monday's trip to Musselburgh races, I want to offer some tips on drawing horses in motion. And I'm going to provide you with some grey sugar paper and would recommend that you start working with probably a brown pastel. A lot of horses are brown. And that you put down with the side of the pastel a basic sort of head and body shape. Leave the legs. Don't do the legs first. Do a body, head shape, maybe something of the rider. And because we're not going to be drawing the horses as they race, we're going to be drawing them in the paddock. So they'll be going round and round. And so I've got this video running here of some training. So I'm going to get this, it's going to be a kind of repeated view. The horse is going to be going in this direction that I'm drawing every now and then. So I'll wait till it comes back. I'll maybe work with the pastel as well, just to get a rough sense of the size of the rider. And then I might now put a few more lines in. That happened a bit quicker that time round. So in a way, what I'm demonstrating here is what is not that different from what your experience is going to be like, that you're going to get a certain amount of time seeing the horse going in the direction that you're going, that you're drawing. And for the rest of the time, you can either have another drawing on the go or just, wait and watch and to a certain extent draw from memory. This is what can happen in this sort of situation, that you draw what you can see and then it changes, and then you've got a certain amount of information in your drawing that you then build on. So I'm going for a sort of side-on view, the horse going left to right. That's where I've started, but I would also do some other versions with the horse going in other directions, and you'd be surprised actually, this thing of drawing from memory and also being able to draw backwards. So the horse is going the other way, but I've now got a basic shape that I'm working on, and I can start to kind of embellish it. I might get a little bit more colour in. I might use other things as I've been doing, like the charcoal, to add certain observations of hooves or details in the parts of the horse's head. So all of that is adding to my pastel shape, but I can also draw with the eraser and subtract a bit and so on. And my rider here, I don't know quite what she's wearing, but the great thing about jockeys, of course, is they have these fabulous colours. So, as one starts to embellish, as I say, these shapes that I've started with, actually, I think what will be on offer at Musselburgh with the jockeys in their particular colour schemes will actually make life easier, because you'll be able to start to, as I say, develop these initial observations with more specific details, definitions, refinements, and so on. So we will be drawing the horses as they sort of parade before the race, and I would recommend you just have a whole number of drawings on the go. I'm refining this with charcoal. We've also got our pastel pencils, and it may be that some of these observations that you get to do with the details of the horse will be more easily done with a sharp pencil, a pastel pencil, or other pastel colours. So as part of a process of working with the moving horse, actually this bit's a bit odd in this video because She's making him walk with his head down. Anyway, I'll just have to cope with that. But as part of that process, yes, I suggest you might try other viewpoints. So I began with a straight-on horse. I'm now trying to get something of the horse coming towards me. And at the same time as that, I'm going to do a horse's head. So I've got to wait for that. So, you know, rather than having a complete and complex composition, if you can just have some sketchbook pages where you're working on several things at once. So now that head's up. I think I want that head up there. So that's the horse coming towards me, and let's work on this one as well. So what I see as the kind of aim, apart from the astounding experience of being there at the horse race with the jockeys and the horses and the bookmakers and all this sort of thing, I think it will also be a worthwhile aim to have a series of sketches of horses and riders, and as I say, other aspects of the race course. And then we'll be in the studio the following week, and I'll offer you the means to work on a small oil study, or maybe a pastel painting. Well, that might be quite useful if you could stay still, madam. So this one I was thinking as well, I might just go for some, jockey colours. I'm going to put her in colour. And they've often got, there's part of the racing thing, isn't it, that they have these very distinct colourings. Sometimes with this approach of starting with the side of the pastel and putting down a shape, it's good to smudge. And you can see there, when I smudged that, actually it brought things together a bit better. And now if I get another chance, I'll start looking at, exactly where the legs are and how they appear. Back legs tend to be wider at the top because of, front legs a bit thinner. And so on. So actually that's beginning to work a bit. Quite nice actually. There's some good shadows in this video. Be good to get some of that as well, hint at. So part of your preparation, I'd say, so the horses will be sort of parading before the race begins. And I think to have selected some suitable colours, and as I'm trying to illustrate here, maybe work with a page of drawings and begin with a basic shape that you then refine and embellish with colour, with tone. Smudging's a good way of getting, bringing things together and getting more of a refined effect to your drawing. And there may be other things to observe, of course, the bookies and the people dressed up and so on. And doubtless you'll have maybe a camera to make some notes as well. Okay, so I hope that's going to be useful. it's certainly going to be some exciting material to work with, and I'll get you to generate lots of these rapid motion sketches.